Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Tomorrow Day Farms. Today is Frugal Friday. Super excited. Today we're going to do cabbage rolls, and then we're going to talk why this is such a frugal meal for you and your family. But of course you have to like cabbage rolls first. But anyways, I thought I'd bring you along. This is my mom's recipe. Mama Pat, she could make a cabbage roll. However, I upped it a little bit, but that's just who I am. But anyways, we're going to do the same way that Mama Pat did, and we're going to get going on these cabbage rolls in just a second. I am going to do it step by step. So for people that have never done a cabbage roll before, made a cabbage roll, whatever, this is your video. All right, guys, I'll be back in just a second. All right, guys, so we got a cabbage. Oh, hang on. Oh, never mind. All right, so on my stove, I have boiling a very large pot of water. You will need to do it this way. But we're going to talk about the cabbage here for a second. If you say, this is how I freeze cabbage to do cabbage rolls later on, is I will cut the core out and I'll put it in a Ziploc bag and put it in my freezer. Just like this. No cooking, no nothing. And then when I'm ready to make cabbage rolls, say in the middle of the winter, I just pull this bag out, let it thaw overnight in my sink, upside down in a strainer, let all the water and all my leaves fall off. But I wanted to do it this way for you, so I got a really nice cabbage here. Because some people might not know how to make cabbage rolls, and I wanted to kind of start at the very beginning. So I just score the cabbage like so. You really want to use a paring knife for this. Don't use anything larger, because you need full control of this knife, okay? Because you will cut yourself. You notice the leaves are going to start to fall off. Pull them off. Set them to the side. So what we're going to do is we're going to steam this cabbage to get all the beautiful leaves off, so we can make these magnificent cabbage rolls. Now, my mom always called these country cabbage rolls because, well, and throw cabbage all over your kitchen. It's alright. Because it was out of stuff she usually had in the fruit cellar, other than meat. So, and a lot of times you will get to the point where you can pull a few of these leaves off. Try not to rip it like I just did, but I'll fix that when we get to it. And you just kind of want to take this big hunk of core out. It does take a few seconds. So the reason for taking out the core is so the leaves fall off easily. It is a little time consuming. I absolutely love making cabbage rolls. People hate making cabbage rolls. I could sit in here all day rolling cabbage rolls. I find it very therapeutic. I don't know. I really like it. And then we're just gonna try to show you here. And you just kind of want to get that core out of there. You are going to make a mess, and that's why you really want to use a paring knife, because this core will stop the inner leaves from coming out or coming off. All right. So see how the core is right there? I still got a little bit more to do. And I will salt my water as well. I also have a pad underneath my cutting board so it doesn't move. So I'm moving the cabbage myself. And I'm just going, I know you guys can't see clearly, but I just keep going around and around and around, making sure I get most of that core out of there. And you, oops, sorry guys. And you really want a nice sharp knife for this. And that is the total core. The hardest part is getting the initial part out, like so. Okay? So it's all hollowed out. We have some leaves off already. Now when you put this in the water, I always put a core down because I want to steam the cabbage. I don't want to cook the cabbage, I want to steam it. So I'm going to move my coffee here. And let's see if I can. So right here is my pot. And it's almost ready. I am going to put some salt in that. And then I'm going to put the cabbage upside down. And I'll bring you over once I clear off my spot over here. And we'll get steaming up this cabbage. Alright guys. So here's our water. Just going to add a little bit of salt. That will just hold the color of the leaves as well. Now I'm just going to gently, do not burn yourself, drop that cabbage in there. I'm going to pull a little bit of this water out here in a second. Because you don't want all that water in there. Because you are going to burn yourself. Because once it gets going, I will flip the cabbage. And then we'll start ripping some leaves. But I want to show you how to get to that part. The reason this is such a frugal meal is when cabbages are in season, and that's why I'm doing this one right now, is because when cabbages are in season, they're like $1. They're not expensive, maybe $2. Or you've grown them yourselves and you have 8 to 10 cabbage and you're like me and you really don't like sauerkraut. I really don't like it at all. So I grow cabbages for coleslaw and cabbage rolls, cabbage soup. My beef and vegetable soup has cabbage in it. You know, things like that. For soups, I dehydrate it, put it in my dehydrated vegetables mix. So there's lots of different things you can do with it. But like I said, I'm not a huge sauerkraut fan. So what I'm doing now is I'm just basting the cabbage with the hot water because I don't want this to go like a funky color. And I am going to take a little bit more water out of here. Because like I said, I want to steam this. I don't want to boil it. So when we were talking at the very beginning here, the way I do it for freezing is I would just cut that core out and pop it in the freezer and then let it thaw in a strainer overnight in your sink, and it just pulls all that water out and your leaves all fall off, and then you just dip your leaves in. You don't have to go through this process per se of peeling the leaves off. And this cabbage cost, I think Michael said it was like $1 something. So still, I mean, and it's an Ontario cabbage. It's not from anywhere else. But I did wash it in vinegar and a little bit of soap. And I rinsed it really well and I let it dry. I did that yesterday. And I don't know if you guys can see it right there. I don't want you guys fogging up. So the leaves are starting to lift now. by me basting this, and this stops you a lot of times from being burned as well. Michael loves cabbage rolls. Like, cabbage rolls are up there with his spaghetti. So, so now the water is starting to boil. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. This is my biggest pot right now. All right. So I'm just gonna, now I have those fingers, okay? So if you don't have those kind of fingers, which, you know, turn it. We're gonna baste it again. Like, I am boiling it at you know, because there is so much water in here, but you do need a certain amount of water to ensure that you're getting enough coverage. So it's that fine balance. So you just grab your tongs, and because we cut that core out, there's another leaf. And my stove really needs to shut off, but it's not gonna. I hate this stove. All right. So as you see, as you pour the hot water over top, they loosen all by themselves, and you're not burning yourself. You're keeping far enough back. And that one's about to pull off. And you kind of got to do it in sections. You can't rush this process. And pull another one off. And then you just kind of keep basting it. It's almost like you're basting a little turkey or something. And the ones that fell off as we were cutting the core, I will run them through the water. So when I get to the very end, I'll bring you guys back. Alright guys, so now let's talk about the meat mixture. So in this bag, I have ground beef and I have ground pork. In your house right now, if you have ground beef and ground chicken, use that. It does work. I've done it. And then, if say your family doesn't eat all their rice, keep that rice and put it in the freezer, and then when you're ready to make cabbage rolls or something like that, then you have rice already pre-made. We're going to spice this up a bit. Oh, and don't throw out that water, that cabbage water. If you happen to have a ham in your freezer, drop it in there and cook the ham in that juice from the cabbage. Absolutely delicious. That's what I'm going to do with mine. And then this is what I have left out of that huge cabbage. And that will go in with my ham dinner. So that was a little bit of chili powder, a little bit of Worcester sauce. This is just garlic, because I'm out of fresh. A little bit of salt. Not a whole lot, because that's garlic salt by accident. But there's a lot of meat here, so. And I have some onion powder. Seasonings are going to be to your taste. Okay? I do really, I'm pretty heavy-handed when it comes to seasonings. And a little bit of dry mustard. Okay. This is steak seasoning, or steak sauce that I made. We're going to add that in there, because that will just make the meat taste so good. You got to remember, you got rice to get through that and all that other stuff too, okay? Now some black pepper, because it wouldn't be me if I didn't, right? All right. And then I'm going to mix this part up. I'm going to use my hands, guys. I washed them really good. So your ratio between your rice and your meat is all going to be up to you. If you want to stretch this meat, add more rice, okay? If, say, you only have 2 pounds of hamburger and a little bit of cabbage left, like you have a whole cabbage left, you can stretch that with the rice, okay? Now, I have jasmine rice here. You use what you got. Some people don't do, they actually cook this. I don't do that. I do cook the rice. Some people don't cook the rice and put the rice in the meat. It really depends on what you were raised doing. And this is 2 onions, guys. Now my onions are pretty small, so, but really depends on what your preference is. Everybody's cabbage rolls are going to be a little bit different. Everybody's sauce is going to be a little bit different. Okay, so now, my clean hand here. So now I have all this jasmine rice. I'm going to use my clean hand to get it out. So, this was done yesterday. I kind of started prepping this up yesterday. My meat is fresh. It was never frozen, but it's going to be cooked anyway, so it doesn't really matter. If you're looking at this for like a, you know what, I'm just going to add it all in there. If you're looking to do like a freezer meal, I always cook my cabbage rolls first. But if you don't want to do that, then don't do that. If I have leftover of this, I'll make some lazy man cabbage rolls or something. So that's where it becomes really frugal, because you can do so many things if you have leftover. And like I said, it's pretty messy, but it smells really good. I just love making cabbage rolls. Now, if I had celery, I'd have celery in here, but I don't have any. I do have some celery seed, but I'm going to add that into my sauce, okay? Which we'll make after we roll. Okay. Now, clean up my mess here. I don't want to lose any. Okay. There we go. All mixed up. Now, keep in mind, this rice will plump up. So, you'll need adequate amount of sauce. I always seem to never make enough sauce because Michael likes it, and Cody likes cabbage rolls as well. So, all right. I'm going to clean up here and get ready to start to roll, and I'll bring you right back. Battery's about to die. Okay, I got to be quick. Alright guys, so now we're going to make the sauce for the cabbage rolls. So I got a big measuring bowl here. I'm going to scoot you guys this way so you guys can see better. So I just have 2 cans of tomato juice. Oven on 350. Make a mess, because that's how I roll. And then I'm just going to dump this in. Alright. And then what my mom always did was she added 1 can of tomato juice to 1 can of condensed tomato soup. Now, I have done this when I haven't had tomato soup. I have used tomato paste, but I don't use a whole lot of it. I'm going to do 1 batch at a time. There's that. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of celery seed and a little bit of garlic salt. Wish it was garlic powder, but I bought the wrong one. And just some black pepper. I'm going to make this one with you, and then I'll make my second batch. So then, when I'm all done that, get this stuff out of the way here. I'm gonna need that all again. Is just mix it up. And then I'm gonna bring over the cabbage rolls. Now, if you want to put hot sauce in this, you go right ahead. Here is the beautiful cabbage rolls. I'm gonna work on, I'm gonna move you guys a little bit. There we go. And then I got a fair hunk of cabbage here that I couldn't get any leaves from, and that'll go in our ham and cabbage for Sunday. And I just pour it over top. Now, the cabbage will render a little bit of juice as well. Now, I am going to put tin foil on this, and I'm going to tent it, okay? But what I'm going to do, because you don't want the tin foil to touch this, okay? The tomato, the acid in the tomato will literally eat that tin foil. You can put a piece of parchment paper over the top and then the tin foil. So I just tent mine. Let's watch it. I cook mine for at least 4 hours. Okay. You can do these also in the crock pot. Okay. And I will bring you back when we're pulling them out of the oven and I'm serving up dinner. Alright guys, here we go. So here's the cabbage rolls. I'm gonna get some dished out here. Oops. For Michael, he says he's starving. There we go. A little bit of sauce there for him. I'm actually going to open one of these for you. And I'm going to show you the inside. Look at that. Can you guys see that? Awesome. Alright guys. Well, thanks for hanging out with me today. And if you wouldn't mind, please hit that like button so I can keep getting the channel out there. And don't forget, the other channels that joined me this week for Frugal Friday will be in the playlist. And I will try to link their videos below in the description box. For the recipe part, I will do my very best. This is just kind of a throw it together kind of recipe. I don't really have one, but I'll try to get one typed up for you. And that way you can have one for your cookbook or whatever you need it for. Alright guys, thanks again. Please don't forget to like this video and hit that subscribe button if you're new. Welcome. And there'll be a lot more of these coming up. You guys wanted me to keep doing the Frugal Friday, so I'll keep doing Frugal Friday. Alright guys, thanks so much for hanging out. Hope you guys have an awesome day, and I hope you guys are all safe. I will talk to you guys super soon. Bye.